What if the only thing separating a good person from a monster was just one really, really bad day? That's the terrifying idea at the heart of one of the darkest Batman stories ever told. So let's dive into this philosophical experiment disguised as a comic book. You know that one line? That is the Joker's entire worldview right there. It's not just some belief he has. It's a hypothesis he is absolutely desperate to prove. And to do it, he sets his sights on Gotham's most incorruptible man, Commissioner Jim Gordon, aiming to prove that anyone, and I mean anyone, can be broken. So to really understand his horrific experiment, we first have to try and understand the philosophy that's driving it. Where in the world does this nihilistic belief even come from? Well, the story gives us one possible, and honestly, tragic answer. See, the key to the Joker's actions is that he doesn't see himself as some kind of freak or an anomaly. He sees himself as the inevitable result of a world that just doesn't have any meaning. In his mind, all of us are just standing on a ledge, and all it takes is one bad day to give us a little push. He's just the one who already fell. The narrative flashes back to a man who isn't the Joker. Not yet. He's just a guy, kind of drowning in failure. His jokes don't land, he can't pay the bills, and this fear of not being able to provide for his growing family is just crushing him. It's a painfully human, very relatable starting point. And this is a brilliant illustration of that one bad day in action. I mean, it's not just one tragedy. It's this relentless, crushing cascade of horrors. The hope he had from the robbery is just erased by the death of his family. And then any chance to even grieve is stolen when criminals force him to go through with the crime anyway, which, of course, ends in his total disfigurement. It is the complete and utter destruction of a man in less than 24 hours. But here's the twist. The Joker himself admits he doesn't remember his past clearly. He actually says, "Sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another." So this whole story, it might just be another one of his sick jokes, making his origin just as chaotic and unknowable as he is. So with that ambiguous past in mind, we jump to the present day. The Joker has escaped Arkham, and he is ready to test his theory on Commissioner Gordon. And it all starts so simply, so horribly. Barbara Gordon, the commissioner's daughter, answers a knock at their front door. It's this quiet moment of domestic peace that's about to be completely shattered. And just like that, bam, the Joker shoots her at point-blank range, and the bullet severs her spine. This isn't just random violence. No, this is the calculated, cruel first step in his psychological assault on her father. The cruelty is just so systematic. Every single step is designed to strip away Gordon's dignity, his hope, his sanity. The physical torment of the ride is awful, sure, but it's nothing compared to the psychological horror of being forced to see these enormous, leering photographs of his brutalized daughter. It's a deliberate attempt to drown him in trauma. And this is the Joker's monologue to his victim, the core of his lecture. You see, he's not just torturing Gordon, he's trying to teach him. He's trying to force Gordon to see the world exactly as he does, as a cruel, random joke where absolutely nothing matters. Okay, so the Joker has done his absolute worst. He's given Gordon the worst day of his life, by far. But did his experiment work? Did he actually break the unbreakable man? This right here, this is the crucial moment, when Batman finally finds him. Gordon, who is shivering and traumatized but still lucid, completely rejects vengeance. He clings to the law, to the very system the Joker tried to prove was a joke. He demands order in the face of absolute chaos. So the experiment, it's a complete failure, a bust. The Joker expected to create a mirror of himself, a man driven completely mad by grief and chaos. But instead, Gordon doubles down on his principles, proving that trauma doesn't automatically lead to madness. The hypothesis is wrong. When Batman finally confronts the Joker, he throws the failure of this experiment right back in his face. Gordon is living proof that the one bad day theory is just wrong. And of course, this is a truth Batman himself embodies. He also had one terrible day, but he channeled that trauma into a code. It really suggests that the Joker isn't a victim of circumstance, but of his own choices. He broke, but not everyone does. After Batman actually offers to help him, to try and end this cycle of violence, the Joker tells this joke, and it's such a perfect, tragic metaphor for their relationship. Batman is offering a bridge, a way out, but the Joker is just so steeped in madness and mistrust that he can't believe it's real. He can't be saved because, fundamentally, he doesn't believe salvation is even possible. And this leads to one of the most debated, most argued over endings in comic book history. In the pouring rain, they both just laugh at the sheer absurdity of their situation. And then the laughter stops. Some people read Batman's hand on the Joker's shoulder as the moment he finally breaks his one rule and kills him. Others see it as a moment of shared, tragic understanding. The story just leaves it for us to decide. So, why are we still talking about this story decades later? Well, its legacy is every bit as complex and controversial as its ending. Now, while the story is praised for its mature themes and incredible, haunting art, it's also, and rightly so, condemned for its brutalization of Barbara Gordon. Her crippling is used simply as a plot device to torture two men, which is a classic and really problematic example of a trope known as women in refrigerators. Even the author, Alan Moore, has voiced his own regrets about this part of the story. But, despite its very serious flaws, the story's central question is undeniably powerful. The Joker believes that trauma is a life sentence to madness. Gordon, on the other hand, proves that our choices in the face of that trauma are what truly define us. And that's the philosophical conflict that keeps this story so incredibly relevant. Ultimately, The Killing Joke forces all of us to look at that thin line between sanity and chaos and ask ourselves where we stand. It's a dark question, for sure, but it gets to the very heart of what it means to be resilient, to be moral, and to be human in a world that can often feel like a very, very bad joke.